Ladies and gentlemen, based on a number of requests that have been made to us over the last couple of days, this is a special open house session where you can ask any of your queries related to the association, related to government policy, or anything about the industry, and our expert panel on stage will do their best to answer these questions or share their experiences with you. So if you have any questions, we've got the ladies with microphones around. Ask for a microphone, introduce yourself, and fire away. It's over to Mr. Kamlesh Barut and his team for the open house session.
Thank you, Hugo. Fortunate today to have Avinash Dhakne, Joint MD of MTDC, join us in open forum. We were to have a lot of tourism officials, but it seems yesterday when Mr. Vivek Nair had a closed door meeting with all of them and announced the Joint Tourism Promotion Council set up, they resolved everything and then left them here for the open forum. Fortunate for us that Mr. Dhakne was kind enough to facilitate our tourism minister reach here before time, hour in advance, and get all our act together in time. You've set up this open forum. Any questions that you have for Avinash Dhakne on Maharashtra, on the MTDC? Any questions you have for the association? Our immediate past president is here. The present, as I head the HRAW, I am here, and the future is there. Ask anything that you want to.
Once right. You have a mic very close to your lips here. No, I just said that Dinesh, keep the mic. It's very closer to your lips. You have to control your laughter. Okay, Mr. President, I was just going through the newsletter right away. And in the current president, sir. Oh, that's right. Thank you for correcting me. Mr. Current President, I was just going through the newsletter during this break between the two sessions. And in the President's note, you had mentioned the last line, that please don't forget to ask me about the meeting with the Finance Minister that you had with Mr. Pranab Mukherjee in Mumbai at the Taj Hotel, where we had the ASSOCHAM summit. So could you please enlighten, because there are many issues that at least the state that I represent as the chairman of the Madhya Pradesh committee, I'm tired and fed up of answering their phone calls on this just one irritating issue of service tax. And they just want to know what has the association done. So I'm just going with the question that you had asked in the book. If you could please enlighten the audience, how was your meeting and what is it that our future strategy is going to be so that our members are at least briefed on that issue? Thank you.
Before Kamlesh answers, please correct yourself. You are not representing only Madhya Pradesh. You are representing Western region.
Thank you,
in fact, you have successfully convinced Madhya Pradesh government. So we want to hand over the matter to you. This matter to you, that you take over and follow up with the Maharashtra government as well.
Thank you, sir.
Kamlesh, please carry on.
Know why seniority counts and why we have senior members on the dais. They take half of the burden, but still, as I said yesterday, the hot seat is not the hot seat because I make it the hot seat. It's the favor you all do to make it hot for me. I mentioned this yesterday in my essential note also. Suresh Darera had got this invitation for the Heritage Hotel Association, and since we weren't members of ASSOCHAM as yet, we just got the forms and everything after the event and relate with ASSOCHAM because it's a body that's based in Bombay and we get a lot of interactions possible rather than doing it at the CII in Delhi and the associations in Delhi. He took me along and said, there's an interaction with the finance minister, why don't you join me? And that's how I went there. I couldn't represent myself as HRAWI president or FHRI or anything because we were not part of it and I didn't want to antagonize, and therefore I said, I'm the president of the Hotel Association, and this is my question. So I had a little preface of what all benefits tourism derives and how it gives GDP and all those numbers that we usually throw on statistics on these ministers. He was with me till that, the statistics and everything, and he in fact was probably more receptive to the industry's contribution towards the economy of India and the employment generation and the foreign exchange bit. The moment I mentioned to him that the indirect taxation amounts to about 40%, and I want you to answer as a 40% partner of the revenues that we share, what are you going to bring back to this industry with an additional levy of 3 and 5%, and if the abatement is not there, an extent of about 10%. And that was where I think he turned the tables around and he started talking to his CBSE head who was there on the DS with him, and all those bigwigs who were there, Swati Piramal, Ajay Piramal, and Mr. Rajkumar Dhoot, all of them were on the ASSOCHAM thing. So they took me as somebody whom was antagonizing the finance minister by asking a question which otherwise the sentiment was the budget was good for the economy and they were welcoming the GST and all of that. So when the finance minister started talking, he said, when I was planning this, I knew that the GST and the direct tax code, the DTC, is going to come in. And to bring that in tandem with industries which are out of that reign, I wanted to make sure that all of you all are on that platform before a year, so that the next year when I get the concurrence of 15 states that I need to pass the GST with and get at least 3/4 of the majority in the upper house and the lower house, I don't have resistance implementing those by y'all as the industry who has a disparity in the taxes that would come after GST and before GST, which even when we did the seminar on budgets, our speakers Anil Harish and Mr. Mehta both said that this budget has been strict on the hotel industry only because the GST is going to come in and he wants to avoid friction. So immediately after that question, he had probably answered me and said, I'm bringing you on the reins of the GST and the DTC, so you should not protest it. I was aware that your industry is going to protest because I have put these extra tax burden on you. So you're going to shout, and I know you're going to shout. So the other members then said, well, the next question. So I said, my question is not answered. I asked you from a 40%, you're taking us to 43 and 45. I'm not saying that you're bringing us to 16. So the calculation went on from the direct taxes to the indirect taxes, and therefore the culmination of all the other taxes like the octroi and the VAT and the luxury tax, excise, all of those put together actually had that statement which Vivek Nair presented yesterday in a statement saying 40% is the incidence of direct and indirect taxes on our industry. Said, I don't want to answer a question. I've already answered it once. I don't want to take any more questions from you. And therefore, I passed on the question to Mr. Talera and I said, sir, now you need to ask the next question as a Heritage Hotel Association. And don't mention Heritage Hotel because he'll say, I've already answered the hotels. So you just say, I'm from the Heritage Association and start with the same thing. That was the altercation that happened, and the guys said, shut up and sit down, and probably that was where it was a put-off. But I took that as a message that he doesn't want to budge. Even if we go on a strike, we do whatever we want to. He has understood that this industry is enjoying a benefit for too long and is not going to come close to that 13%, 60% that he had in mind to introduce the GST in the next year. Whether the GST comes in or it doesn't, it is a fact that he wants to bring this industry at a 13 or a 15% level. So whatever protests we had in mind before I met the finance minister, I had one interaction with Vivek Nair, and what Vivek had proposed was, let us do some noise. And the noise might be kind of, not an actual strike, but call the press and say, we are going to go on a strike. And then the moment that was discussed, I took the opinion of my office bearers, all 6 of them. I made them ensure that they give me a reply in writing on an email saying, am I ready to take this mandate of going on a strike be it a hotel or be it a restaurant, and each one of them replied to me saying, no, we have discussed this time and again, we are not going to go on a strike purely because the 5 stars, the chains, the corporates, they are not able to go on a strike together because they have long-staying guests, they have commitments, they have corporate policies that are thrust upon them. And if we don't have the 5-star lobby, the 5-star deluxes don't go on a strike, and we are just as restaurateurs and 1 or 2 stars go on a strike, association non-members who are not a part of the HRAWI do not participate in this kind of a protest. Restaurants which are not serving alcohol and are not air-conditioned, when they don't go on a strike, you dilute the entire message that goes across, and you don't want the press laughing tomorrow that, well, you said a strike and there are a few disjointed guys who are going on strike, and I didn't have the mandate of my own committee members. So how was I going to go and promise that, yes, as HRAWI, we are ready to go on a strike on one person's whims that I, as a president, have said, yes, I don't have a mandate. Therefore, I made this again in the EC committee meeting that we met, and I said, what is the sentiment? And still everybody was of the firm opinion that we should not go on a strike. Vivek Nair talked to our office bearers one by one, and each one of them sounded off back to him, we don't want a strike and we cannot go on a strike, we cannot afford to go on a strike. Jimmy himself gave us an example of NASSCOM, a body which is much more stronger than what we can probably make an impact at HRAWI. They couldn't do anything when this kind of tax came on them. So the logic is, if that hard-headed finance minister is firm on it and he wants to put that tax on us, whatever we try to do, it will be an effort in vain and we'll not be able to make that impact that we should. So therefore, neither did I have the mandate, nor did I have anything, so I couldn't enforce this on the thing. So another letter which came to me as a surprise was 3 days back, Mr. Narendra Somani sent a letter to our Secretary General saying the government of Gujarat has said, you as the Gujarat Association, give me a list of hoteliers who are charging tariffs of 1,000 and above. And I want to compile this list and want to know that even if these guys tomorrow turn around and say that I have discounted my tariff so much, I'm only interested in people who have a published tariff of more than 1,000. You give me a list, I have to forward it to the center so that they know whom they have to tax. My fear is, if we are not ready for it and we are still in that protest mode, and one of our members today feels that, well, let me not charge this tax. If the guest leaves and you have not collected that tax and you're supposed to pay it from your own profit margins, as an association, we have a moral obligation to inform our members saying, please, this is the notification coming in. You collect your tax. We'll decide whether we want to pay it under protest or we want to hold back or do whatever. But don't let this opportunity go where a guest goes out of the property without paying anything. Does that answer your question, Suni?
Partially answers, but we can look at a simpler solution to a very complex problem. On a lighter note, actually, most of us in our hotels, our employees have got leaves of 30 to 45 days pending, on an average, whether 1-star or a 5-star. When I asked one member of Bhopal, are you ready for the strike? Because we had discussed this in our EC meeting. He said, हाँ क्यों नहीं? क्या होगा ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा? 1 महीने का बिजनेस चला जाएगा, मेरी स्टाफ की इतनी छुट्टी पड़ी है, लीव पेंडिंग पड़ी है, वो यूज़ कर लेगा और हम हमारा इंटरनल रेनोवेशन करते रहेंगे अंदर. So the fear in the mind of a lot of people is that there will be a business loss. What will we do to our staff? We'll have to give them salary for sitting at home. I think this can solve the problem to some extent, if not fully.
I don't agree with this because what will be our international image? You know, foreigners coming to this country, and if we cancel their reservation and if these 5-star properties are not with us, will not make any sense.
So we can take a month of off-season.
You know, you must appreciate the very fact that our president was the only one who could have direct interaction with the finance minister. All bigwigs from Delhi, from FHRA, HAI tried to have direct interaction. Nobody got an interview with them. You know, face-to-face interaction with finance minister. Of course, he could also irritate him to an extent that I could not ask further question. No, the very fact that he was firm, that we have to do this because we have to bring GST next year. Now, the point which he did not very openly mention, that there are so many states which are not with him, BJP states and some opposition government, and they will not come forward to give a consent unless these taxes are raised to that level. So to make that passage through, for easy this thing, switch over, I think he must have made this, and I am sure now no forum will be able to change this.
No.
It's a very bitter fact, but unless some MPs get together and you can influence some MPs to get together through Mr. Vijay Darda, I think it will be possible only then.
Sir, one major setback for the tourism industry is that we have zero representation in the parliament, both the houses. There was a time when we had Mr. Lalit Suri, and after him, we don't have. And in the earlier years, about say 30 or 20 or 30 years ago, we had Rai Bahadur M.S. Oberoi, to some extent, who had fantastic rapport with the member of parliament. That is one practical difficulty. On the point that you mentioned, sir, I agree with you to one extent that yes, it can spoil India's image. But at the same time, I don't want to say it, but it's really sad that India's image has taken such a bad beating with the scams of Commonwealth Games, with this 2G scam, with plenty of other scams one by one opening up in the country, and with this Anna Hazare thing and all that. So we are having enough of India bashing from international media. Now with this new service tax, what is happening is a lot of tour operators who SMS me and said that you please put a one-liner to whosoever is coming in your convention. They're saying that they've already contracted the rates for India. Internationally, when they sign agreements they work as per calendar year. In India, we work from 1st April to 31st March. Internationally, the rate contracts with hotels are done from 1st January to 31st December. The rate contract for this year is already signed in the month of November 2010. So they say, now how do we factor this 5% and 3% on our buffet rates and 5% on the room rates, 5 point something.
These are subject to always the rates, subject to current rates. The tariff is different,
I agree
and
with
the
you,
taxes
sir.
are altogether different. Whatever current taxes applicable will be applicable in any case.
No, I agree with you, sir.
in
But what
UK
happens is
even
these
more.
package tours that come to
Isn't tax
India
in UK
from
even
abroad,
more?
like when we go from India to abroad, I remember 20, 30 years ago when I took a tour from SOTC, they had the same problem with some tax in London which the UK government introduced in the budget, but that tour operator had to factor in that cost out of his own pockets, which he in turn passed on to the British operator.
Can
So-
I interrupt you for a
Yeah.
second?
In that,
Since you're
in
talking-
short, let it be passed on to the travel agents, so they will also join
But
us.
sir, that is
For
making
the
India
UK.
deterrent. So the point I'm coming that again India's image is
did you
taking
say
the
Metro
beating
will
with
take
this
it
new tax. Just now I just got an SMS. I can show you the date and time also.
Just one moment.
Let me just finish
Just
the
for your
list.
information, VAT in UK is 20% on hotel rooms.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's
So it's even more than us right now.
agreed, but that was introduced suddenly. You see, when the tours from India to UK were already contracted at whatever rate it was earlier. I don't know what the rate was. So again, that tour operator had to factor in the cost because he could go back to the guest like us 20 years ago. Now all of us make our own tour plans, but 20, 30 years ago, we had only had package tours of going abroad.
It allow me to moderate this session only for one reason, that we can talk about the implications of this tax and all night, and our wives will not allow us in our rooms back when we go. Let us think forward as an association, and this is what we discussed even at the FHRI EC meeting. We said, what is done, it can't be undone. Now, let us put our thoughts together and parallelly work how we can protest this, how we can tell the government how badly we are affected and
That's
everything.
exactly I'm saying, sir.
But
that,
parallelly, let us put our energies together and create workshops in all the 4 regions of the country on GST and prepare a white paper from FHRI that is given to the government saying, tomorrow when you're going to get the GST, I want my industry to be affected like this. I don't want you to leave out that tax and include everything in it, so I am at the end benefited and I don't be out of pocket from whatever I was doing. There was a beautiful workshop paper that Mr. Talera had shared with all of us when he was the president last year, created by Mr. Lakshmi Narayan.
Lakshmi Kumaran.
Lakshmi Kumar. He had actually done the entire statistics of how the GST at 16% will still not put us out of pocket without the imposition of the new 3%, 5%. You're able to appreciate. If that workshop paper is created by one Lakshmi Narayan for other association, if we can actually focus all our energies and create this kind of a Lakshmi Narayan in all our 4 regions, they put the mind together, and at FHRI we create a white paper only saying GST is how this will be actually enacted and effected for our industry. We're not bothered what you do with the rest. Now, can we synergize all our energies into that and create something for April 2012 rather than crying for that period between 2011 and 12? So, as an association, we can form a kind of a consensus among all of us, create this euphoria, get out of this room with black badges and our minds all feared up saying, now we are going to hit the government hard. Let's not fight a force that we cannot take on. Bharat would probably make a whole scripture over this. I'm only saying let us energize the synchronization of the 4 regions in creating a white paper to the government and saying, this is how you work for us. Don't put these kind of things without consulting us. Tomorrow we are already doing it proactive a year before and giving you this paper from an authority that understands how the imposition is. This paper is already created and it has shown that the hotel industry, per se the rooms, will not be out of pocket without charging the 3%. Now with the 3%, will still be additional 3% plus at the end of the GST.
So just one thing.
Oh, Sunit, you know,
an
this,
SMS has just come in. One thing of technology is that while we are doing this conventions, at least about 86 SMSs I have exchanged since yesterday and today, as people are listening this through this audio recording of the and giving their feedback. It's a very important SMS from today, Mr. Kothari. Minimum rupees 25 service tax will be charged on forex conversion and encashment transactions at front desk from all of our hotels from the guest. From today, this has got implemented. But effective from today, this is what it says. Now, these are all the new things that are coming in one by one, one by one. So my only request is, the way tour operators have come and told me, we make this part of the white paper that you are mentioning, and at least inform them that one decision of theirs can have so many implications to people down the line. It's not just the domestic, even the international guest has to pay for something, and then that will make it an India deterrent story and not a growth story in terms of inbound arrivals.
Let us put an end to this discussion on service tax, please, because it's 6 o'clock.
Okay,
we can keep talking about this at dinner.
A non-service tax request has come in from one of our members in writing.
Listen, Sumit, this has become the law. Parliament has passed. Now no strike, nothing is going to work.
President has signed it yesterday.
Exactly. So therefore, we are unnecessarily wasting our time on talking service tax. It is
No,
going.
it's a
only
non-service
point
tax
is
question.
only point is, Sumit, when it is going to implement it, we have to wait a notification. But what is the important point we are missing here in talking? We have been talking all the time why all this is happening. When this law is passed, no single member of parliament speak about it. What is needed is, we need a lobby in parliament. We need our member of parliament of each region to mushroom them, convince them, and they should talk. By talking, we here and outside in strike, nothing is going to work. We have to mushroom some of the member of parliament, and next year, from now we will try. So when GST come, at least somebody is there to speak on our behalf, and then that is the only solution. I
appreciate that. In fact, as Sunit mentioned,
and I think this audience knows a lot of members of parliament, and we all try and united. Everybody try to get one parliament. I think we will get 50 parliament in who will talk about our industry, and they may solve problem of us.
SP,
we entertain all the parliamentarians in the country, 5-star hotels. So they are all our clients.
So this question for
I think,
Dr.
Mr.
Dhakre,
President,
So this
Let
question
us
for
have-
Dr. Dhakre,
let us
it's a
have
very
one-
important question, sir.
Sunit, let us have one speaker speak once, because otherwise I and you will be doing a
No, I'm
dialogue.
getting SMSs and written
Let the
requests.
SMSs be there. We'll talk about the SMSs in the dinner. I request you to please sit down and leave the mic out. Ashwin bhai, I haven't heard you. Sundar Saab, Ravinder Saab, we need to hear. Yes, sir.
Mr. President, one request on this service tax aspect, which is a genuine feeling of a consumer. A consumer, that is three ladies, go out for a lunch. They are non-liquor consumers. What do they care if the restaurant serves liquor or not? Why should they be penalized? Let us represent by writing to the government on this representation. Let us forget service tax is there. Okay, we have to feel it. But why not play the rule of this consumer feeling? That why should a consumer be penalized just because their establishment is serving liquor? Why on the food they have to pay? So let us represent on that, please.
This audience knows a lot of members of parliament, and we all try and united. Everybody try to get one parliament. I think we will get 50 parliamentarians who will talk about our industry, and they may solve problem of us.
SP,
we entertain all the parliamentarians in the country, five-star hotels. So they are all our clients. You know.
So this question for
I
Dr.
think, Mr.
Dhakre,
President,
So this
Let
question
us
for
have-
Dr. Dhakre.
let us
It's a
have
very
one-
important question, sir.
Sunit, let us have one speaker speak once. Because otherwise, I and you will be doing a
I'm
dialogue.
getting SMSs and written
Let the
requests.
SMSs be there. We'll talk about the SMSs in the dinner. I request you to please sit down and leave the mic out. Ashwin bhai, I haven't heard you. Sundar Saab, Ravinder Saab, we need to hear. Yes, sir.
Mr. President, one request on this service tax aspect, which is a genuine feeling of a consumer. A consumer, that is three ladies, go out for a lunch. They are non-liquor consumers. What do they care if the restaurant serves liquor or not? Why should they be penalized? Let us represent by writing to the government on this representation. Let us forget service tax is there. Okay, we have to feel it. But why not play the rule of this consumer feeling? That why should a consumer be penalized just because their establishment is serving liquor? Why on the food they have to pay? So let us represent on that, please.
Yeah, not only for Gujarat. It's the most powerful consumer body in the country. Not Gujarat, whole of India, rest of the country.
Mr. President, service tax will be there, as you're saying, but what is urgently required is the lobbying, which you're talking for years. I don't blame anybody, but lobbying has to be done. We have a FHRA, we have 4 associations, other industries do a lot of lobbying. We have the facilities, as Suresh was saying, but our lobbying is weak. We have to concentrate on that. Apart from that, what I say, about 5,000 letters should be written to Pranab Mukherjee by all hotel restaurant members individually, saying this is not correct, sir, but we accept it. But next year, so that they will not be considered next year in the GST or next April. We accept it will be there, but in the HR tax, I remember we wrote 3,000-4,000 letters to Manmohan Singh when he was finance minister. Individually letters.
Our ex-president is requesting all the delegates here, please send letters.
No, 4,000, 5,000 letters should go.
So at least
Sundar,
250 can start.
Sundar, can you collect all kitty parties, ladies' letters?
See, 100 letters I'll send
If
from
you can
Bombay.
do that, I think
100 letters I can contact from Bombay.
Sundar Saab, on your first question, Sheldon can respond on how we can lobby, but
Okay.
I'll take the onus of discussing this at the VETO,
Okay.
the Western India Tourism Organization
all
that
right.
we have. We'll take the travel agents together also, but he has a response to make on the
This will
lobbying.
help us next year.
Yes, sir.
Suresh.
Sheldon will tell you.
Mr. President, President, I just want to give a thought on this to get a clarification from the excise department. What he mentioned is right, that suppose if there is no AC in a restaurant, right? The tax is on air conditioning, if it is air conditioned. What happens in the winter in the northern side when there is no AC? Can the restaurant write to the department that we do not have AC for 4 months, so we are not going to collect the tax? I think that's the best way, and I'm telling you that the court will definitely stand by that you are levying a tax because there is an air conditioning. It is not
I
the
don't think so.
facility alone.
Once the air condition is put on.
I don't think so.
No, you write in the beginning. You say we are not, let the clarification. No, get a clarification on that. I'm telling you.
yes,
No,
what
it is
Vittal said is
not
right.
air conditioning.
Yes,
Can-
whether
can-
you use it or not.
Can I request Mr. Sheldon to respond to that? Please be seated. Let Mr. Sheldon respond to the earlier question.
Can I just make a point as an observer of the industry from the outside? I think the angst in this room is completely justified. I also think that lobbying is the answer. But there is an example of to take up from what SP just said, that we would require our own representative who may be a member of parliament who can lobby for us. Let me also draw to your attention that Vijay Mallya is also a member of parliament. He also represents the aviation lobby and the liquor lobby. In this budget and the subsequent budgets, service tax has also gone up on air turbine fuel and also on liquor. So it's not about just having somebody to represent a particular industry in the parliament. It is much more than that. The answer lies in a joint representation. A very important initiative was taken recently by the HRA Western India under Kamlesh, where there was a body called VETO that was formed of all associations, because the aviation industry has the same problem, the tour operators have the same problem, the hotel industry has the same problem, and the transport industry has a much bigger problem. So what I am suggesting is, rather than taking this as a segment of industry, please come together under this body, make sure that this becomes a national initiative, and only under this combined lobby can the government understand, because hotels, aviation, tour operating is too small a segment for the government to understand the whole picture. So my request to you all as an outsider would be, encourage VETO, spread this on a national front, and then it will make a difference.
Sir, Mr. President, this question is on Maharashtra government.
Yes.
Gentlemen, here. Government of India has announced income tax holiday for 5 years to the hotel building from 2-star to 4-star from 1408 onwards in heritage cities, which we have only 2 in Maharashtra, that is Jalgaon and Aurangabad. If our state also could give in some incentives as subsidy or even luxury tax waivers, we'll appreciate if some thought is given.
Request darkness up to.
There is some problem going on. Discussed it with the minister as well. I have been following up with the government for almost a year now. Earlier policy 1999 policy that is in existence, and some of the people are already getting the benefits. However, this 2006 tourism policy, though it was announced in November 2006, luxury tax benefit is not given, only for a short period of time. Maybe in 2009, August to December, 3 months it was in existence because it was by ordinance. That amendment in the Act could not happen. Now we are expecting with the new finance minister and all that, Mr. Kamlesh Barot and HRA people met our new dynamic minister whom you have met yesterday. Hopefully we will be able to get that luxury tax benefits as well, other benefits which are there in the policy but not in place now, because tourism policy says that tourism department doesn't have any act. Whole number of acts like municipal corporations, water supply and sanitation, Gram Panchayat, urban development, so many departments has to make amendments in their acts. So we are following it up. 3 or 4 concessions are already there which we are giving. But about luxury tax, hopefully we'll get it now. The new minister and with all your efforts.
Again, it is for service tax.
Service tax, can we
Only
defer any question?
One point I am adding.
The problem is
that the law is there. Kamlesh bhai,
Tekwani sir,
listen.
any other questions relating to the association will not have time for discussion.
No, it is not
let us discuss the service tax at dinner.
It is not
આપણે રાતે મળીશું ને જમવા ત્યારે વાત કરીશું.
But I am adding one point only,
Yes.
which
So you
can
take
well
it last
consider.
question, after we
It
finish.
is not question, rather it is not a question. I am saying that the service tax is enacted, law is there, but the notification is to come, and in the act the word is that the service tax is to be charged on the gross tariff, and which is going to create the lot problems. our only submission through association should be rather that it should be on the services rendered by the industry. If I am providing a room at 1,000 rupees or 1,500 rupees, then the service rendered is of 1,500, not of the 5,000 printed tariff. Otherwise, it will happen that the service tax will be levied on the printed tariff as on date in Gujarat. The luxury tax is on the printed tariff. So that thing we should take up instead of lobbying and all that. The main thing that the service tax should be on the actually collected tariff.
I'll read out the resolution that we are passing for the convention. At the end of this open forum, we have one slot where we are doing convention resolutions. I've just written that down and given to my Secretary General. He'll read that out. I've already taken this into account.
Sir, this question, since you set aside service tax, I would like to, because gentleman sitting next to you from MTDC, Avinash ji, at the end of the day, we all talk about increasing tourist arrivals. We want to increase tourism, and we're changing a mindset now. We want to listen. Listening has become the in thing. And like every small hotelier, every individual hotelier who wants to listen to his guest, what he is saying through a suggestion sheet or some such thing, we should have this on a macro level. The MTDC should consider the whole hotels of India as like your own, and like I want the tourism department to listen to every guest walking out of the country, the city, the destination, because they are the people, if they come back, they'll come back with other people. But if they go unsatisfied, we won't come to know what their grievance is. We won't be listening to them, and we lose a customer forever. It's what we do at a hotel individual level. I want the department, if they can do it at a macro level. For instance, if you're having an immigration form when you're leaving the country, just keep some suggestion sheets for the MTDC. If the guest feels like he can fill it in, and he can just put in a mailbox out there or Dropbox there, and you will find lots of suggestions which, if carried out, I think you'll get to listen to what's going on, why we are losing on arrivals, why we go out to other destinations, to other countries. Perhaps I would like to listen to you on this. Thank you, sir.
That's a good suggestion, because it will need all your help only. From our side, what we can do is we will collect the information, try to analyze those things, and wherever necessary, take the corrective steps. But if your members are ready for that, we'll definitely go ahead with that. I don't see any problem with that. Yeah, we'll discuss and have some
core
kind of
committee.
Yes, and we have a core committee on tourism. So Kamlesh ji is part of it.
I have a question to Avinash. As you know, Maharashtra is the biggest coastal zone, and have been all the time we were discussing there is a restrictions and all. What kind of step government of Maharashtra, MTDC, has taken to representation to central government in relaxation of the CRZ zone? Whether Maharashtra government has taken any steps or not, or what is the chances to get, because entire Maharashtra development depend upon relaxation of CRZ zone, otherwise development of very difficult.
I have to answer this question in larger perspective, because CRZ line is drawn straight for whole of the country. Maharashtra has 720 kilometers of the coastline, and whole of India something around 4,000, east and west coast putting together. CRZ line is a kind of a sacred line, 500 meters, no development. Fortunately, this new CRZ notification, I don't know if you have gone through it, this new CRZ notification allows tourism activities from 200 to 500 as well. This is the actually good thing which has happened in this new CRZ notification. Otherwise, earlier days, it was beyond 500 meters. This 200 meters, I think it is good enough. And particularly beaches in Maharashtra, all Sindhudurg and Ratnagiri particularly, they are unspoiled only because there are no hotels on the actual beaches. So beyond 200 meters, even MTDC is holding 4 or 5 big properties along the beaches. I think that is better that we are little away from the beach, and we can have properties after 200 meters.
Thank you.
Any questions on the association's working, anything you like? Because the entire office bearers, the Secretary General, all of them are here. You have any issues with the association, we can rectify those. I have discussed most of the working to people who are joining new for the first year. Any questions?
Mr. Dagni, is anything happening about the entertainment duty?
Great, thank you.
Entertainment duty, is anything happening about it?
Pardon?
The entertainment duty? The entertainment tax which is due?
No, completely tried to convince our minister, but unfortunately he was not convinced.
Kal bolle.
Kal bolle ka? I think there is some problem, like dance bars and all that.
It's the problem. So
That's the problem.
We are getting blamed.
That is a social issue actually, not the entertainment. No, people make actually misuse of it. That is why.
Under the home department, there are 5 licenses which are issued to an eating house. First, it's an eating house which is called an RC. And if you go for liquor license, then only you get an eating house. And if you get an eating house of a grade 1, then you get a bar. And if you get a bar and you want to have entertainment, then you go for this license. And if in that bar you want to have live entertainment, then there is a theatre license. Why should we have to face this plethora of licenses? If the state needs revenue, let them charge a fee because the establishment has been licensed first at the first point. Why there should be a duplication of that? That is one question. The second is the fees can be always charged 10%, 20%, 30% for every additional activity. Let it be a charge on activity and not the establishment to suffer to go for repetitive. And not only that, sir, they have to have those 4 licenses at one time for the same establishment. So our plea is that that should be stopped. And the music word should be rightly understood. What is live and what is recorded. We are using recorded music, and I'll go with the history. Originally, when the establishments were run by proprietors, they were themselves a gallewala, they were themselves the music operator, which is now being considered as DJ. There is no difference. The professional DJ who performs DJ act is going to mix a music and then perform. Whereas this music operator who is now being given the nomenclature of DJ is not a DJ because he is using only those same CDs which are pre-recorded, and instead of one CD player, he has 3 CD players. He switches off one, he switches on the other, or he switches on the third. So our request is let a practical view be taken by the authority and understand from us who are the actual operators and one-to-one and then thrash off all this. It's a big nuisance, sir, because there are multiple authorities entering in our premises. The police comes, have you got this police license? The entertainment department comes, have you got this license? Then there's a theatre branch from the police department which also comes, have you got theatre license? And the theatre license, it clearly enacts that unless there is a 10 by 10 floor, you cannot get a theatre license. So how do we come, sir, under the entertainment license? This is the anomalies which have to be really clarified and remove us from embarrassment.
Thank you. Mr. President, I must put it, and it is on behalf of all us, that your presentation yesterday was excellent. At the same time, your team and the entire EC team is doing a wonderful job.
So
Thank you very much.
You're part of it.
I'm part of it, but I'm little senior. I see that the young people are doing an excellent job. Please give them a very big hand.
And to the office staff.
And to the office staff. And also to the future president. Thank you.
Mr. Sheldon.
This is from all of us. Okay?
Thank you for the compliments. Mr. Sheldon, I'm just wondering, while thinking, at times Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan awards were surrendered to the government to bring a pressure on the government. In the same manner, if we boycott tourism awards together, you think will it help, to give our protest, to present our protest?
It might send a message.
Sorry?
It might send a very strong message.
Very strong message.
Absolutely.
For that we need to do lobbying amongst ourselves, not MPs. We don't
We
need
have
to
to
go
take
to
this up at
MPs. We need to
MHRA
go to our own fraternity and say that we will boycott these awards. Let's see, some travel agents also may join us because ultimately they are also affected.
That's exactly what I
I
said.
don't think so.
Every part of
I
the
have different
industry
view on
comes
this.
together. It will send a message. It will
I
certainly
think that
send
will
a
give a strong message, headlines all the newspapers, also that we have surrendered the awards or we have not taken the awards.
Whilst you two are in concurrence, Mr. Dakne has a
have a different
contradicting
view.
view.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I have a different view on this. Means just by boycotting some awards, which are voluntary otherwise, so you have to apply and all that, then you get the awards. And tourism ministry as such is mostly in your favor all the time. Even the union tourism ministry and the union tourism secretary minister, whoever. I don't think that is that will help. What Sheldon has suggested, I'm not the person, I'm not the authority, but things happen. Like I'm a government servant. I'm president of one of the big association in the state, the officers, State Civil Services Officers Federation. I'm president. I know it. You have to go and meet ministers and try to make them understand. Like what Kamlesh ji did almost for 45 minutes with Mr. Chhagan Bhujbal when he took over. That day he actually, I think he was not in a position to listen or you were not able to properly convince him. But if yesterday you could convince him, that's good. It is only thing is, time and again you have to go and convince them. It again depends on the mood of a minister, mood of a secretary many times. Yeah, you have to accept the facts. I don't think this thing will
We
help.
appreciate this answer from you. Obviously, you will not agree with us, but I feel this. If Mr. Sheldon says that he supports me, I feel we should go that way. Let's try it. What is that? There is no harm.
It is a
trying it.
voluntary. It is not a mandatory.
As much as we don't like it, the tourism awards happened last month. They are over. They are given already.
Maybe next year.
Now,
Maybe
if
next
we
year.
protest for the next year, we are
Next
too
year,
late.
that sorry? No, why not?
After taking it,
Not only that, the Padma Bhushan awards were surrendered later on after accepting it. Yes, this is a good idea, I mean, let all those awardees, they surrender it, Like, Mr. Sheldon, you will support me? What do you feel?
Definitely.
Case 3.
the entire media is sitting there. That's the power lobby. And if all of them agree, it will come in the hotelier and caterer, in the midday, everywhere.
All I'm saying is...
All of them.
Mr. Dakne, all I'm saying is that whatever makes news in the right way to bring the media's attention, first of all, you need to grab the attention of the media.
It depends where you get the space in
the
news.
mainline media. So if something like this has to happen, it will make news. If it makes news, there will be questions raised. Why? Right? So the entire industry has to come together first and make a decision that yes, we will want to do this. So I'm not saying return awards. I'm not saying do anything drastic. What I'm saying is if there is one voice that the industry can speak with, and if the starting point may be to return an award just to, capture the news first, and then use that as a platform to further it, it might work.
Look, the awardees have been recognized. They already received the award. The award function is over. So they are already been conferred upon the honor, right? And now they go and surrender it. In fact, this will work better than next year's awards, And it has happened in the past, like Padma Bhushan was refused. This was, and like Sunita has rightly said, it will be a slap on government's face. Let's try it out. I mean, there is no harm,
We'll have to talk to FHRA also about
Sorry?
this. We'll have to talk to FHRA also about this.
Not only Western region
Not
awardees,
only
they are
Western
awarding all
No,
across the country.
everyone together.
That's what I said.
Because this is not, this act is affecting everyone.
So I said we have to take
It's
it up with
affecting
FHRA.
every segment of the tourism industry, not only hotels.
And we very,
Including the
we are
tourism
not
boards like
making a
ours.
big, we are just saying as a protest, you know why, and it is all depends again on the media, because even Anna Hazare movement was successful only because of media. Only because of media. Media took it up, so strongly. All TV channels and public. But who gathered public? The media's gathered public.
In fact,
Correct. So we will.
In fact, Mr. Talera, I have worked with MTDC at close range, and I can tell you for the benefit of the audience as well, that even though they may want to do a lot of things, ever since Mr. Dakne and Mr. Kurundkar have taken over, it is these same government policies and the failure to recognize tourism as a key driver, whether in Maharashtra or otherwise, that have held them back from implementing a lot of what they have wanted to implement over the last 1 or 2 years. And I've been a very close observer of that. So you're not the only one being affected. He's being affected as well by the government.
Because they are corporations.
Absolutely.
They are not tourism
Our
ministry.
end is around 20 crores coming from
MTDC is a corporation like MIDC. So they are again like us, they are part of
Our
us.
end is around 22
This
crores
has to
last
be
year,
taken
hotel.
up by Tourism Ministry, Government of India.
What is the biggest problem live with our industry is all politicians and bureaucrats think we are charging and making lot of money. Question of this when was talked to some of the confidence to member of parliament, they say you are charging 20,000, why to bother for 3%? We need to educate, either prepare one white paper and educate to politicians and bureaucrats that we are not making that kind of money. They say you are selling tea in 50 rupees. They do not understand how much we have invested. So nobody has sympathy with our industry. Whenever question of any tax comes, they say they are charging too much, they are making lot of profit, because this is the other industry. Tourism Ministry understand, and this is my personal experience, when Ambika ji was there, when we were going number of time, she stayed by after 4th meeting, hands up, he said, Mr. Jain, do not come again and again. If I have 5 ministry and they do not understand, we will not be able to help. So question is today to educate. I think our association can prepare a white paper, what is our real problem, and we communicate either personally or through representation. Do not misunderstand. One Leela or Taj is charging 20,000. How many members other charge? We are charging 2,000, 3,000 and 5,000 after so much heavy investment, which is not recognized by them. We are unable to explain this fact yet. And that's why we are being targeted all the time for taxes. And nobody, when we go back and request, nobody is ready to listen. So let us go from grassroots to explain, to make them understand.
Fortunately for us, the things are a little different right now, because after Kumari Selja going, there is Mr. Sahai, whom we had one interactive meeting, all of us were together, and we didn't have to educate him on the elitist tag that we have for this industry. He himself, and this happened to me twice, because the Chief Minister, Mr. Prithviraj Chauhan, when I sat with him, he said, whenever I open any topic of hotels and restaurants, in the assembly everybody says elitist industry, and I know you are not an elitist industry. There are South Indian small joints that are not able to making break even. So we have already got Chief Minister, Tourism Minister Union, who is already preached. We don't need to preach him again. So things are changing a little bit.
Mr. President, can we tell them at least raise the threshold to not 1,000, at least 3,000?
Just give me a minute. I'll close this open forum and read out the resolutions, and you can propose and second. It's already part of the resolutions that we are proposing. I would thank each one of the panelists here to help me put this open forum as an interesting one, because I heard before starting this that all the government officials have gone. The open forum will finish in 10 minutes. It did not. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. This convention resolutions.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.